morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear guests, dear friends. On behalf of the Association of Hungarian Choirs and Orchestras, I warmly welcome you. You know that in Hungary, the music education is closely connected with the name of Zoltán Kodály. We are very proud of being able to give such an excellent music educational system to the world. Kodály said, music should belong to everyone. In the last decades, the world has changed a lot. And sometimes I feel, and I'm sure that also you feel the same, that we live in a very confused world where it is very advantageous when we can relax with art, with music. Therefore, this conference is a very special moment. We will think together. We will answer the question together. How can music belong to everyone? And especially, how can singing belong to everyone? I hope that after this effective cooperation between Hungarian and foreign members of the music profession, we all will return home recharged and reached with very many new ideas. Have a good time in Hungary, and I wish you from all my heart, enjoy yourself in Kodály Zoltán's country. Thank you.
And now I would like to call on stage Dr. Andrea Wiig, the President Director of the Liszt Academy of Music. And when I'm calling you on stage, I would like to cordially thank to all your staff and the Music Academy for the welcome and for the opportunity of providing your venue for this symposium. So please hold your welcoming speech. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests and dear friends. First of all, I would like to say some words about our wonderful university. Liszt Academy, established by Liszt Ferenc in 1875, is a prominent member of the international music higher education sphere. With the opening of its highly modern education center in 2011, named after György Ligeti, and the completion of its main building's 3 years long reconstruction in 2013, the institution has regained all its original Art Nouveau splendor and has been outfitted with 21st century technology. Students of Liszt Academy are educated following the institution's century-old spirit of traditions and progressivity, while they can feel the inspiring atmosphere that the concert place breathes with its international concert life. Those recommended by their professors might even make their debut in the world-renowned Grand Hall and the Sir George Solti Chamber Hall. The staff of the Liszt Academy Concert Center provides them with a solid professional background to help them start their career and experiences what performing in the limelight means. For the most of us, our parents, singing was the first musical experiences we ever had. It calmed us or cheered us up. Singing had a deep impact on us from the very beginning. And not only as listeners, we have become singers earlier than we learned to read or write. Kodály made the most accessible form of music making, singing, the base of this method that has conquered the world. As a result of his work, Hungarian children can meet their national spiritual heritage in the form of folk songs and have the opportunity to participate in their school's choir, gain lifetime experiences. Why do children who have sung to so happily stop making music as they grow older? How can singing together become a source of energy, a power to create communities? These are the questions I'm sure this conference will strive to find the answer for. Without singing, children and adults who would fill our classrooms and the rows of the grand hall from day to day, from concert to concert. I wish you a pleasant conference and enjoy the conference and enjoy the concerts. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your cordial welcome, both to Zsuzsanna and Andrea. And on behalf of the organizing team, I would like to tell you some words about the organization, some aspects that might be important and interesting for you, and also about the history of the symposium, because I think it's also very interesting and important. In 2011, the European Choral Association, Europa Cantat, to most of you, it was known before 2011 as Europa Cantat, the European Federation of Young Choirs, came to the idea to organize a 3-year European cooperation project among its membership, with the main aim of bringing the membership and all those countries where the membership is present and represented together and initiate, launch new cooperations between the countries. And each and every member organization of the European Choral Association could have a free chance to offer an idea, a proposal. And COTA, with its board, sat together and we said, well, Hungary seems to be one of the most famous headquarters of music education. And music education is becoming a more and more important issue nowadays as the economic crisis has an impact on education and culture in general. So why don't we try to bring together all our friends and also a lot of other guests beyond the circle of our friends and colleagues and sit together and try to discover how singing can be more intensively represented in music education and what are the good experiences and the secrets behind that might be in the future the key of an enhanced situation of music education and singing in music education. So we approached Europa Cantat, the European Choral Association, with this idea, and it was welcome. So it was integrated in this 3-year European cooperation project application called Voice. So this is the reason why you can see the logo of Voice here, the second from the left. And this application contains 11 countries and 14 events throughout 3 years from 2012 and 15, and you can find in your booklet right in the beginning much more information about it, but what we have to know is the highest financial recognition of choral music and singing on behalf of the European Union since the culture program was started. And the culture program is over in 2014, so we are already thinking to submit a continuation of this project that seems to have been very successful during the past years. And we chose a very good starting artistic committee for the symposium with Zsuzsanna, with Professor Eva Kollár, who used to be the president of COTA before Zsuzsanna, Judith Hartyányi, who is also sitting here somewhere in the room, and Katalin Hrasek, who is the chair of the Music Education Commission of COTA. And we made up our minds and put together these 4 themes that you can find also on our website and also in this little booklet about music education in school, non-formal music education out of school, the benefits of choral singing, and the big question that we are still struggling with in Hungary, whether it is possible to train a good choral conductor without training him or her to become a good music teacher. And later on, when we arrived to the practical parts of the organization, we started to think about a good venue, and we learned that the Music Academy will be opened by the end of 2013, and we had a dream to bring this symposium here, and this was just wonderful that the Music Academy responded to our approach very positively. So we are just like cooperation partners in this project. And they provided us also with a lot of artistic help because 3 other colleagues joined the artistic committee, and they are also sitting here in this room. Csaba Kudnyanszky, the deputy rector of the Music Academy, who is also the head of the choral conducting department. László Nemes, who is also a teacher of the Music Academy and director of the Kodály Institute in Kecskemét, which is an official part now of the Music Academy. And Árpád Tóth, a young conductor colleague of ours, who is also a teacher in the Kodály Institute, and also a holder of a lot of new ideas and new lines in choral conducting and vocal music making. So we put together this program. We launched an international call for proposals, and we are very grateful about having received a lot of very valuable proposals. As you will see in the program, we try to find a careful balance of being international and being in Hungary. So we are very happy about welcoming around 50% of the lecturers and the presenters are from all over the world. We are present here from 4 continents, and we are very proud about it. But we have had the opportunity of collecting and approaching the best Hungarian colleagues who were available for this, and they will show you the best of the Hungarian experience in singing in music education. Now, I have to tell you some practical information about the symposium. If you look at the timetable in the mid of your brochure, I hope it's clear enough and you can understand it. The program is so rich that we didn't want to distribute it to too many pages. So right in the middle of the booklet, the page before the middle, you will find the morning program, and right the page after the afternoon program. We will have every day a keynote speech, but we will have an extra keynote speech, which I would very much like to recommend you not to miss, of a neurologist professor who himself is a singer, but for organizational reasons, we had to put his keynote speech on Friday afternoon. So he will be closing the session on Friday in this very room with his keynote speech, which is looking forward to the Saturday's program. Then we will have to distribute ourselves, and it's up to your free choice, to 3 different presentations and lectures in the morning, or workshops or interactive activities in the afternoons. It's up to you what to choose. I hope there will be enough participants in each and every workshop. There might be some of them more interesting to you, but you might even commute a little bit between the workshops if you would like to have a glimpse on each of them, but please try to move very carefully and not to disturb the lecturers too much. And then in the lunch break, right after the lunch, we will have a lunchtime performance or a concert, which would like to give you just a 10 minutes little scent of some Hungarian specialties. So a children's choir today, tomorrow a children's folk dance group, one of the best, and on Saturday there will be a medieval church music ensemble singing for you in the first floor foyer of the Music Academy, right to the left side when you leave this room. And at the end of the afternoon session, we hope to finish at around 5 o'clock. There might be some delays, but we would very much like to keep the pace and the time limits, and I would like to invite all the lecturers and speakers to keep the available time, because then we will bring the next ones into troubles. So there will be one of our artistic committee, including also me, who will be present in each room, and we will very slightly warn you if you seem to be running out of time. Please don't take it as a disturbance, but it's just to help you, as an assistance, to help you to round up in due time. And right after that, we will start the afternoon session at 3 o'clock. The afternoon session after the lunchtime concerts, and after this 5 o'clock ending, we will have between 5 and 6 o'clock a kind of wrap-up summarizing session in this hall. So everybody who would like to hear some news or special information or observations about the sessions or lectures that you could not visit because you were attending another one in another room, just please come here, because with László and Judith, we will be trying to summarize the whole day very briefly, just to divert your attention to some important things. As you could see, we will be recording the whole symposium, and depending on financial conditions, we will be uploading the lectures to the internet or even publishing DVDs. It's a lot of material, so it depends very much on money. So if you miss something, you will have the opportunity to have access to the video recording of the missed sessions. And after this, we will go to dinner, and then the concerts today and tomorrow will be in the building of the Music Academy. Tonight at 7:30, we will honor Erzsébet Szőnyi, one of the most important key figures of music education in Hungary, a pupil by her person of Zoltán Kodály, and the Hungarian choral world and music teacher world would like to honor her with this concert tonight. You don't have any entry ticket to the concert. You just have to gather in front of the main concert hall tonight, and you will have the opportunity to enter with your badge. And people will, or colleagues will be there and show you your seats where you can sit down. For tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, for tomorrow we stay here. The concert in the evening will be in this room by the new Liszt Ferenc Chamber Choir and the Promuzika Girls Choir from Nyíregyháza. You can invite friends. We just have to be careful not to overload the room. So if you happen to have friends here who would like to come to the concert, please go to the office, to the registration office, because we need to follow up very closely if the room will be enough for the concert. And there will be a final concert, which I think will be a great fun and discovery for you on Saturday evening. We asked, I think, the best Hungarian folk singer, Márta Sebestyén, and her young friends, a new folk ensemble who is specialized in entertaining foreigners about Hungarian folk music in English, which is not so frequent in Hungary. So they will do a presentation of Hungarian vocal and instrumental folk music at another venue. We will bring you there by bus, but I will tell you more on Saturday morning on this. But you just don't forget your dancing shoes for Saturday night, because believe or not, you will be dancing. There are a lot of friends who come to Hungary and they always say, no, I won't dance. But in the end, everybody was dancing. Even if it's only a few steps, but some others went crazy while dancing and they fell in love with Hungarian folk dances. So it's just to relieve a little bit all the stress that you have to experience during the symposium. I hope there will be no stress. If you have any problem, just please approach me or any of my beautiful young colleagues who are from our office in Pécs, preparing the next Europa Cantat Festival, but you will hear more about it, and you already have received some information about the biggest European choral festival happening in Hungary next year. And we have here also our colleagues, the ladies from the Kóta office, the Hungarian Association of Choirs office. They are mostly dealing with the Hungarian participants of the symposium. So this is briefly about these 3 days. I hope you will enjoy all the lectures. I hope we will have dealt well with the opportunity of organizing this symposium in Hungary. And I would like to ask László to come and connect your computer on all your technical stuff and do the first keynote speech. Yes, one more information, just please come. We will have coffee breaks according to the program, and the coffee breaks will be just next door. If you leave this hall, the next little hall is preparing coffee and cakes, so just to fill up your energy tanks and continue with a high attention the next sessions. So thank you very much again for coming, and enjoy the symposium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me also extend my welcome to all our dear guests who came from abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, I have always considered myself an exceptionally lucky musician, having been brought up in Hungary's renowned music educational institutions, which have become a model for music educators all around the world over the last decades. I went to a singing primary school in a small Hungarian town where the days for students who were members of both the school choir and the folk dance group were literally spent with singing and dancing all year round. In addition, I studied the piano and solfege, and to be honest, I had quite limited time allocated to school homework, but still never failed receiving good marks for my assignments. The inspirations received during these wonderful years led me to the decision to continue my studies in a singing secondary school. And eventually, I obtained a degree in music education and choral conducting from the Liszt Academy of Music. As a consequence of a great number of unforgettable musical and educational experiences during my school and university years, together with a continuously and steadily growing vocation for teaching, I became a music educator. What do I teach? I guess that the simplest answer to that question is that I try to pass on the devotion and the love for singing to all sorts of people, both young and old, both amateurs and professionals, from teenagers in the favelas of Sao Paulo to exceptionally talented students in an elite Beijing primary school. But possibly more importantly, these days, largely based on my varied teaching experiences, I try to develop teachers' abilities to do the same to other people. Why singing? What is it in singing that makes it, I believe, a unique experience unparalleled to any other form of artistic expression? Singing, as the oldest of forms for artistic expression, and songs being one of the oldest of musical genres, essentially enhance the meaning of the words by the reinforcement and enrichment of their emotional content. Different cultures, different musical traditions are characterized by their distinctive style of singing. The style of a given epoch exhibits different musical characteristics in vocal genres, including songs. But the essence of singing and the song to communicate feelings is the same, regardless whether we talk about folk songs, art songs, or popular songs. It is said that people have their songs for all state of feelings. They have songs for devastating sadness and also for the outburst of great joy. Some songs stand so close to our hearts that we feel as if we possess them. We can hear the phrase, "This is my song," very often. Songs do not exclusively express personal feelings, but have the power to express the common feelings of a larger community and the feeling of bonding of people. Singing of songs awakens the spirit. It inspires and builds communities from people sharing similar feelings or thinking the same way. Songs and singing have a sort of unifying force that seems to be more powerful than the power of words alone. Songs sung by people seem to be able to move them politically. Songs stir up people's souls and move them to action. They unite people at political protests much stronger than the giant banners of popular catchwords. Beethoven's Ode to Joy has brought the message of human rights and brotherhood to the 19th century audiences. While popular artists have in the past used the power of song to unite people for global fundraising in order to save lives and to increase the level of social responsibility, singing seems to be a language of emotions, probably the most comprehensible expression of feelings, while at the same time being a more accessible form of artistic expression than any other art forms. It can be practiced even by musically untrained people, since musicality in some form can be found in a great number of individuals. Singing also has the power to provide both singers and listeners with a long-lasting and deep spiritual experience. Since the beginning of time, people have expressed their feelings through singing. Singing has accompanied their ceremonial occasions, including worship in the church. The reason for that is that singing together in the church does not only create a special form of connection to God, but to each other as well. Occasionally, songs are thought to be imbued with transcendent power. Ethnography and ethnomusicology lists an immense range of songs that are used to make or stop the rain, create or extinguish fire, or rescue people from danger. Hungarian poet Mihály Babits, in the third act of his fairy tale drama entitled The Young King, expresses the secret, the magic and healing power of the song with the following lines. There is a song in the soul of each human being, and they each hear their own soul in every song. And when the song is lovely in someone's soul, the song of others will also be heard to be so. In the poet's fairy tale, the shepherd hears the princess, and what the poet expresses so sensitively and so delicately, science expresses in the following manner. Choral singing strengthens the immune system by releasing immunoglobulin A antibodies. Scientific research in recent years has provided us with numerous convincing results of the health benefits of singing. A study by a group of professors at the University of Frankfurt investigates the positive effect of choral singing on emotional states of members, as well as the positive effect of singing on immune competence. Neuroscientists and brain researchers claim that learning music is a superpower from the point of shaping the brain in manifold ways, provided that the music learning environment is inspirational and fosters motivation. Music education during childhood and adolescence does not only develop musical skills, but it has a strong impact on the child's cognitive development, social development, emotional development, language development, memory, speaking skills, and fine motor skills. As a result of high standard and regular music education, children do not only learn to read and to count much faster, but their productivity and health will be much better as well. School music education based on singing has a significant impact on the emotional well-being and the mood of all children. The positive influence of singing can especially be felt by those who struggle with emotional problems. The greatest Hungarian apostle of singing is Zoltán Kodály, one of the most outstanding figures of 20th century musical art, musical research, and music education. Kodály's compositions and his intellectuality influenced not only his contemporaries. His creative achievements and his teachings continued to live in the works and in the thinking of the younger generations as well. Over the course of his long life, he both figuratively and literally worked for his homeland and for his fellow men. For his students, he was an unforgettable master and mentor, but as Bence Szabolcsi, also one of Kodály's pupils, expressed it at Kodály's funeral, I quote, "All of Hungary was a student of Kodály," end quote. Zoltán Kodály's philosophy of music education has a lasting impact on Hungarian music education system from the kindergarten till the music academy. This education system has been attracting the attention of the whole world, from Australia to America, for several decades. The essence of Kodály's educational concept is rooted in the recognition of the importance of art and music in the education of children, the recognition of the significant role that valuable music plays in the education of the whole child, and the recognition that music learning is an agent not only for musical development, but music learning has a significant transfer effect on non-musical areas as well. Music has the power to touch the lives of all young people, therefore it should, according to Kodály, be placed in the center of children's education. The most influential tool in the method for teaching music suggested by Kodály is singing. If one were to attempt to express the essence of this education in one word, it could be singing. Besides helping expressing their personal and communal feelings and emotions and developing a sense of community through the common singing of songs, children gradually acquire a rich vocabulary of rhythmic, melodic, and harmonic patterns that are later used as a basis for conceptual learning of music. Through regular singing, they develop their inner hearing and imagination of music, intonation, and tuning. Singing, by being the most accessible form of active music making, assists young people in the acquisition of a musical culture and in the understanding of the language of music. The human voice, free and yet the most beautiful instrument available to everyone, can be the fertile soil for music culture, extending to the general masses. Kodály confessed that from the beginning of his career, something inside him kept drawing him closer and closer to choral music. This intense feeling drew him to Britain, and this is why he felt always at home there. For him, British choral music always remained an important inspiration. Kodály visited Britain in 1927 for the first time to conduct the first British performance of his Salmus Hungaricus in Cambridge. He at once realized that his German professors at the Liszt Academy were wrong when referring to the music of Britain as das Land ohne Musik. He marveled at Britain's choral tradition, the high artistic standards of the British choral societies, the workers' choirs, and the glee clubs. Kodály was highly impressed by the level of competence of British orchestras and choirs, and found that one of the reasons for their excellent sight reading skills is the direct consequence of John Curwen's tonic solfa method, used in the British music educational practice that time. From the 1930s on, Zoltán Kodály turned his attention to the cause of Hungarian choral art, and eventually to the improvement of public music education in Hungarian schools. After 1945, having looked around in my country, I realized that it is not a symphony that is most needed here, but rather music education for children. In Hungary, there are only a few thousand people who understand what a symphony is about, but I want millions to understand it. Therefore, for 10 years, I barely did anything but nursing children. I could also put this into words like this. Instead of creating musical expert items, I profiled myself in children clothing, for our children kept running up and down naked. Zoltán Kodály's vision of universal music literacy through a well-structured system of music education available to everyone, realized by his co-workers and students, contributed in many outstanding ways to the development of music education and choral singing in his native country and far beyond. Kodai was hoping that the time will come when musically illiterate people will not be considered cultured any longer. This will be the first step to the understanding of high art, without which our lives are bleak and comfortless. The Hungarian teaching model, inspired by the best and most progressive music educational practices of Kodai's time, was supported by Kodai's own extensive scholarly work of collecting, transcribing, and systematizing the rich treasury of Hungarian peasant songs. There were many reasons why Kodai chose folk songs as a basis for music education. He believed that folk music, with its simplicity and aesthetic value, is the strongest vehicle for learning about Hungarian culture. It is the most profound basis for musical communication between Hungarians and the basis for continuing tradition. The study of folk song is the basis not only for musical intelligence, but for the general enrichment of the human soul, the formation of fine musical taste, the Hungarian upbringing, and the shaping of the Hungarian musical consciousness as well. Unless the modern man can develop simultaneously a strong and healthy relationship with his own family, his own people, his own background, his own language, music, dance, and cultivate the abstractions and idioms of his age, he will never be a balanced human being, but will remain forever dazed and confused, a prey to passion and prejudice in the face of the jungle onslaught of modern life. Through his choral works for children's voices and his pedagogical compositions, Kodai paved the way for children from the monophonic Hungarian folk song repertory toward the reception of art music that can naturally lead young people on toward the understanding of the rich and multicolored contemporary musical culture of our age. The final purpose of all the teaching of folk song must be to introduce pupils to the understanding of and love of great classics of past, present, and future. All this can be wonderfully achieved through joyful singing, a frequent and regular participation in music making under the guidance of well-trained and inspirational music pedagogues. Ilona Barkóczi's and Csaba Plé's epoch-making volume entitled "Music Makes a Difference: The Effect of Kodai's Musical Training on the Psychological Development of Elementary School Children" has shown without doubt that music education has a positive influence on the child's development of intelligence, creativity, and emotional sensitivity. Those learning music intensively from early ages are more capable of investing energy into challenges requiring serious thinking and creativity than those not studying music. The structure of intelligence in children shows similar positive results. Those exposed to music education are ahead of those not studying music in regards to a much closer connection of intellectual and emotional motivation. Being aware of these important scientific data that strengthen our commitment to Kodai-inspired and singing-based music education, we have the right to formulate the question, why aren't there more children singing then? Regardless of all the practical experiences of the past decades, supported by music psychological research, proving that musical skills, including singing abilities, can be successfully developed by appropriate training, most people still strongly believe that the skill of singing and musicianship is based on some kind of special innate abilities we are either born or not born with. And singing abilities are unequally distributed in the general population. Many people approach singing with inhibitions, fear, and terrible misconceptions in spite of the fact that we know that singing is not an innate or God-given talent. The ability of singing is an innate facility in everyone, and vocal skills can successfully be developed through regular and sequential training. Why don't we give more opportunities for children to sing then? I'm highly disappointed to see that in a great number of schools, the accumulation of music theoretical information have replaced the beauty and joy of singing in the music classroom. I'm disappointed that our educational law allow class teachers with vastly limited formal musical training to be in charge of our children's musical tuition in the elementary school. Why is it always the incompetent people that force their way to the scene of action, spoiling things to such an extent that twice as much work is needed to put things right again than would have been required to do them well at the first go? I'm also disappointed to see that because of the limited time allotted for music education in the national curriculum for Hungarian primary and secondary schools, teaching music in the public schools is not an attractive career option for many outstanding young musicians. In spite of much effort invested in the fight for more music in the Hungarian public schools during the past 2 decades, educational politics has failed giving the expected support for our cause. I'm disappointed to see that most teachers' attitudes toward teaching in general has remained unchanged over the past 30 years, in spite of some tremendous changes in the learning habits of school pupils and the changes in our cultural environment so strongly influenced by the entertainment industry. There seems to be a great gap between teachers teaching the old books, the old material, in the same old teacher-centered fashion, and the interest of the Z generation growing up in front of our eyes. One fundamental question can be formulated from these concerns. How can we maintain providing our students with a wide range of abilities, interests, and learning styles with a musical experience that will foster in them a lifelong interest and passion for singing and communal music making? It is my hope that this conference will provide all of us with wonderful opportunities to discuss ideas related to this crucially important question. It has provided us with 2 marvelous examples already demonstrated at the concert last night. As an audience member, I would love to see much more of this. I believe that Zoltán Kodály bequeathed to us, music educators, a noble goal, helping young people experience the beauty and power of music through singing, uniting them through the beautiful experience of music that will give them the motivation to sing with choirs and to somehow light a fire inside them while engaging them in communal music making. Kodály made it clear, music education is not about winning trophies at choral competitions, as he stated sarcastically in a speech delivered in 1951. Musical production cannot be measured in inches like a horse race, where there is no problem. The nose of the horse is longer this much, so it came in first. Music education and singing is about the opportunities to share the joy of singing with each other, the better understanding of each other, and the creation of harmony between people. Singing together also gives to its participants an access to the rich treasury of musical art. Singing can bring together people of different ages, races, faiths, people with diverse musical experiences, people from different walks of life, people from different socio-economic status, and can create joyful experiences for everyone. To sing alone for ourselves is not worth much. It is more beautiful if 2 people sing together. Then more and more, hundreds, thousands, until you hear the great harmony that unites us. Only then we can really say, let the whole world rejoice.
And we want to make sure the tradition's there in 100 years' time.
Okay,
Good
fabulous. Well, good luck.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, László. And I forgot to tell you two very important practical details. Oh, it's not so simple to stand here in this spotlight. So congratulations to him also for this. There is a slight change of the morning's program. Szabó Soma, one of our speakers in the first slot on our program, has got ill, unfortunately, and he cannot move from Nyíregyháza, which is just 200 kilometers to the east from Budapest. So his lecture, Kodai is right, will have to be skipped because there cannot be anybody else to substitute him. So we will have two presentations in the first part of the program. And as Soma was supposed to say his lecture here, we moved Carolina Wagner from Argentina to this room from the room upstairs. So she will be doing her lecture here, and Paul Smith from Voces 8 about the Voces 8 method in room number 1 just opposite to us. And it begins, I think, in a couple of minutes. And the other announcement, oh, we are perfectly on time. And the other important information, as many of you are from abroad, you might need internet. You have it in your hotels, but you have it also in this building, mostly in the foyer out there in the hall. And the wireless network's name is Voice 2014, which is specially made for this symposium. And the password is, what a miracle, Liszt Academy. And it's free to all of you. If you are connected, it might be not so speedy or quick, but you have access to internet if you might need it. So please enjoy the symposium, and we will continue in a couple of minutes.